Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm coming to you actually today from Florida, and great to be here doing some nice cave diving and enjoying the area. I've been doing a little bit of travel lately and getting in some great diving, and we're looking forward to talking to you about some of the diving I've been doing and hopefully more about the diving you've been doing around the world. We've got an exciting agenda today. Hello, Yusuf. Welcome. It's great to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. And as you come in, pop in and say hello. We'll take a couple minutes as people sign on. It's great to see people popping in from around the world. From Seattle, I like it. Good to see you joining as well. We've got an exciting agenda today. We're going to chat a little bit with people as they start to come online. We've got a great agenda. Younger divers we'll be talking about. We've been seeing a lot of those in GUE coming in, which is really exciting to see. We've got a lot of different community videos and people coming in from different communities around the world. The brief update on Project Baseline. We're going to get Michael Menduno to tell us a little bit about some of his history and activities. Sergio from Brazil. We've got our NextGen Scholar announcement. We're gonna bring that person in. I won't even tell you male or not, right? If you haven't seen. We've got, as I said, some great community videos, and at the end we're going to be doing a great Q&A. So queue up your questions, send them ahead of time if you like, and let us know what kinds of questions, large and small. Try to throw me something that I can't answer. I'd love to get some of the challenging questions. I'll phone a friend and get Dorota to come in and answer all the hard questions that I can't answer. JP, great to have you. And Anne-Marie here, lovely. Juan, great to have you here from Spain. It's exciting to see people from around the world. Jason, welcome. Michael, great to have you here. Sean, Devjon, haven't seen you in a bit. See you again soon. You're in Turkey now at the moment, so it's great to hear. Hope you're getting in some nice diving there. Ferry, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Great to have you here. China, we've got people from all over. Of course, we got Dorota on the standby, and we'll bring her in quite soon. Melissa, welcome. Hello. Oh, GUE Thailand as well. Great to have you here. We're getting people from all around the world. It's exciting, and that's one of the great things about the community day is we can really touch base with everyone and bring them in from all around the world. Michael, wow, I don't know. Are you on the West Coast if you're up quite early, 6 a.m., but did you go swimming today? So we've got people coming from all around the world, which is a great part of GUE, as you all know. It's great to have everyone here, and great to see the amazing diving that we've got going on around the world. I've been able to take part in some of that quite recently. I know Sergio is going to talk to us about an ongoing project we've got going in Brazil, a great team there as well. Singapore, all right, I like it. Baltic Sea, Arja, nice to have you here. Jen, of course. We've got some really nice early attendees. It's great to see everyone coming in so early from all around. Let's see, do we have anyone from Australia yet? We want to be sure that that area is recognized as well. And anybody have any really exciting diving activities that you've been pursuing lately? Love to hear about those. Pop those in the comments. But in particular, if you've got any curiosities or questions, we'd love to entertain those at the end. We'll answer maybe short, easy stuff as we go, but mostly we're going to do a nice, thorough Q&A where we can all hear what Dorota has to say, since I will probably struggle to answer. And let's, in fact, if we can, when Dorota's available, we might bring her in and let her say hi to people as well in the next little bit. Anonymous Gas Mule, I like that. That's pretty nice. Leonardo, welcome. Fundies in February. All right, Michael, we're excited about that. I'm kind of curious, where are you taking that class at? Didn't say there. Dorota's in Portofino, and she has a beautiful background. Dorota, you can come join the team. There you go. Look at that background from Portofino. Hello, Dorota.
No, it's not Portofino.
No, you are not.
No.
Oh, you were just recognizing Portofino. Okay.
Yes.
I thought maybe you'd moved locations or something.
No.
All right. Now you're not at base 1, but you're down at the coastline.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to have a little bit stronger internet, and the dive center is so busy today that, you know, it's more safe to be here.
All right. Who do we have here?
My office view.
Your office view, I know. I like that. I like to see. Well, you know, from your house is not too bad either, but this one's a particularly nice. Who do you got at base one today?
So we do have GUE's team, like I think all of them. We have Roberto Rinaldi. Roberto Rinaldi shooting some videos. We have Peter Gertner starting a class. We have Samech Sokar there doing a class. Then we have Julian Mullenhaus, our photographer there. We do have Bartek, the Polish instructor that we have starting a Rec 2 tomorrow. Mara is starting a class tomorrow, so it's really a busy week.
All right, a lot of activity there. Beautiful background, beautiful caves, really nice diving there. I was lucky enough to be there this year, actually. Again, I love visiting you guys there and get some nice dives in. Oh, you're coming all the way to High Springs, Michael. Great, with Stretch. Well, that's going to be a great time. I hope you enjoy that class. It should be it should be a good time. Kong as well, welcome. Got some great people already early, Dorota. This is pretty nice. People phoning in from all over the place. Leonardo. So we've got some fun discussion. I'm going to talk a little bit about Indonesia. You're going to talk about some of our young divers here in a little bit. That's been pretty encouraging. I love to see the number of young and enthusiastic people we have coming in to the organization. You guys seeing very many of them there as well at base one?
Can you say again? I didn't get that.
Are you guys still also seeing quite a lot of the younger crowd coming to train there? I know I was talking to JP a bit, and he's seen quite a lot of resurgence of young and enthusiastic divers.
Yes.
People have been Go ahead, please.
Young, talented, and bringing a really very nice skill set to the table from survey, from IT experience, from project organization experience. Really nice development. But don't steal my topic because
I won't. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking. I was just thinking that same thing, that I don't want to. We have just a couple minutes to start, and then you're going to have to make it engaging, so we can't talk too much about that. But it has been really exciting, and that's one of the big reasons that we started also the NextGen program, which we're going to also be talking about today. And I'll be excited to bring on our new NextGen Scholar. I mean, every year it gets harder because they're such a talented group of people, and we'll be excited to talk to them today as well. And that's one of the things that GUE is really committed to, not just the top scholar, but also the top 10, trying to do whatever we can to help guide them and support them over time. That's been super encouraging. And Jenn and Anika, our first two scholars, have done an amazing job, and Jenn is now with us on a more regular basis, running just a ton of projects, and she's been super active in our project activities and help building out the project platforms that really can help support all of our communities around the world. So hopefully those of you who don't know Jenn and have any activities going on in your community, looking to expand or develop either projects, conservation-based or exploration-based, please get in touch with Jenn. She'll be happy to help out. She's actually here as well. So I think that the growing set of tools is pretty encouraging. Good day, Melissa and Danny. In depth, I think that we must be talking about Goza there. It's nice to see the team. T-Lex from Singapore, we already said hello. Perth, okay, I was waiting for Australia to come. Craig, welcome, mate. Good to have you. I was hoping we'd get somebody from that side of the pond. Yes, Goza, all right, good stuff. Goza's also with our team now, formally working with in-depth, but also more broadly on a number of different projects. So once you show basic capacity and enthusiasm, Dorota, we make them all do a lot of stuff. So if you volunteer and you show yourself to be motivated, then you might get multiple volunteer efforts across the board. So well, that's probably, in addition to our community, one of the most exciting things that I see is just people's great enthusiasm. And the organization really couldn't be possible without all that tremendous effort and development by people all around the world. And we have Todd coming in later too, because we've been starting to take more involvement with Project Baseline and integrating that into our projects around the world. So we'll try to keep him from talking well over. And speaking of which, I want to go ahead and transition this to you, Dorota, because we're literally within the minute, and I want to keep us on schedule today as much as I can. So I'm going to turn that over to you, and I'd love to hear or let everyone hear a little bit about some of the young divers and their activities. So over to you, Dorota.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So again, to everybody who is tuning in, welcome to one of the, I don't remember now which community day live stream it is, but it's really quite cool to see that we are kind of moving on with it. And then we know that community is one of the key components for us. So we are, community is everything from just, getting to dive together, gathering on some social events, organizing trips and so on. But I think one of the things that really brings people to us as GUE is projects. And I know that the story of joining projects is like a eternal topic, because it's, some of you will be saying, yeah, it's cool. And some of you are saying, yeah, come on, how I can join them, because I'm either remote or I have nobody else who is around me doing anything. Or maybe I'm not having experience enough to join anything, because very often what you will see are super, let's call them master projects that are really complex and they really require a lot of knowledge. But what I would like to say today is that many of you, and I hope that many of you, are the next generation that we are trying to bring on. And one of the discussions that we always have within the governance or the kind of leadership of GUE is how we can move on. And I know that one of the questions here in the chat is about GUE's future. And I think is engagement of a younger generation in projects. One of the type of projects that we have is an exploration project where people are going to discover things that nobody saw before. And the other types of projects that I am more involved here now in Sardinia, where I live now, is scientific projects. Another thing that I would like to say is that probably many of you are thinking as well, how on earth can I be in the same place as Jarrod was, let's say 20 years ago, or Todd was 20 over years ago, exploring? Because, there is less and less places to explore. But what I think is there are certain characteristics that a diver or a person should have to actually be able to do that. So first of all, is something that I have discussed with one of our instructors who's really involved in project, is Julian from Mexico, from SINDAC. And he said that everybody should have everybody should be an explorer, which is not really possible, but everybody should have an exploration spirit. So this inner curiosity that drives you forward. They think that, okay, let's see what's in that cave. Let's see, and let's find this rack, and let's see what's behind that corner. And it's about everything. It's not only about diving. So one of the features that you should have, if you would like to be the future explorer and bring our organization forward, is this exploration spirit. The other thing is you need to realize that project diving is not easy and it's not comfortable. So it's a little bit of perseverance and grit that needs to be there as well. Another thing is that you cannot expect these things to be organized for you in a way, because you are exploring. So you might be a pioneer. Maybe you are in an area that nobody did these things before. And I think what was very characteristic for the first generation of GUE exploration divers is that they did things for the first time. And I think that we still have the capacity for the younger generation, and we need to inspire them to have that courage to say, okay, I'm doing it. Because the other thing is that you will not know if you have that spirit if you don't try, because otherwise how you will know? So you need to kind of challenge yourself to do certain things that are potentially new, potentially things that you have never done before. And there will potentially no one that can guide you, because that's the exploration spirit that we have. Of course, I'm not saying that you should go out and dive, explore on your own and yourself, because ideally you will find a project or a group or a mentor that will help you. And this is what I would like to finish with, is kind of the younger people that I have seen here with some projects that we had. And it's not only about being younger divers, but as well divers who just finish a level 1 class. Is it a tech class or is it a cave class? Because we had here few divers this year in a range of age of 24 plus something, let's say finishing with the mid 30s, that immediately after the class, or the moment that they finish the class, you just say, okay, how can I join a project? Is there anything that I can do? If there is anything I can help? And some of them, they really did a very great job. I will not talk about Jennifer because she's an exceptional individual and she's never saying no and she's always fine, which we know is the biggest lie in the universe. So Jennifer, you should be taking care of yourself and not overdoing stuff. But during this year, we had people who just finished Cave 1 and did photogrammetry class. They did cartographic, not class, but project. They did, within their limited capacity, they really helped to move the projects along very well. We did have people who have been supporting us in a more advanced project by being support divers, by helping us to bring equipment in and bring equipment out. And for them, it was extremely interesting experience because what happened here is that we welcomed them. So it was not that, okay, you will do these tasks that are not really very exciting, or we only gave them the task that they could do straight. We just challenged them a little bit and then encouraged them to do stuff that they potentially didn't believe that they could. So what I would like to encourage everybody who is out there. So one group of people would be the younger generation that has that spark somewhere inside that they would like to do something exceptional and something that we would call an exploration on a project or bring something back to the society with a scientific project. But there's still the community. So if you have those people around you, if they are younger people that might not have an experience, but they have this drive, you should keep the drive going. Because otherwise it would be really super hard to move forward with the younger generation. We cannot discourage them. So we need to be there for them, pushing them a little bit onwards, dropping them off sometimes of a small cliff, not a very big one, so they can get the wings and they can actually start to do their own projects and that they can challenge themselves to do things that they really aspire when they came to us. And that would be it. So just keep on trying, don't give up. Nothing will be easy, but you know, who is here for easy, I would say.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Jarrod. I'm truly inspired by all the stuff that I see, and that's exciting, seeing our younger selves and reflected in the GUE community and all the great things that they're doing. Fatah from Turkey, welcome. Juan, we'll be happy to come to your question at the end. Jarrod and I will be taking some questions then. And Marie, great to have you here as well. Bert, all great people signing on. So now we've got a couple quick videos that we want to show. We want to bring in our GUE China video. I'm curious to see that. I've had some great dives in China over the years. Nico, why don't you cue up that video?
Hi.
This is GUE China.
Hi, I'm Abel.
Hello.
Hello, GUE China. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, buddy. This is GUE China.
High standard. Passion.
Excellent skill. Professional.
Elite education.
Commitment to excellence.
To be elegant.
Safety. High standard.
Serious.
Adventure.
Being extraordinary.
The most big challenge in my life.
Leader. Teamwork.
Inspire. Cool.
Full of confidence. Being elegant. Teamwork.
Inspirational.
Community.
Having fun.
Globalization.
Let's explore.
Hi, wonderful good morning to you all. My name is JP Bresser. I am the founding member of the GUE Netherlands community. It's a quite dynamic and active community consisting of more than 1,200 members, and we have been active for almost 15 years.
Hi, I'm Marco from the Netherlands and became a part of the GUE community because all of the opportunities it gives me the opportunity to dive with great people.
If I were to describe community in a couple of words, it's in the GUE Netherlands community, we try to help each other get better all the time. And together we strive to make the other better as well.
Hi, I'm Marina from the Netherlands and I'm part of the GUE community because it's a safe environment for me to make beautiful dives.
But it's like meeting family.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm part of the GUE community for the Unity.
My name is Laurent. I'm a GUE instructor. Everyone is very friendly, has the same desires and of goals and techniques, and it's just very easy to get into the water and to get along together.
Hi, my name is Annemarie Brisser, and as a conclusion for this video about what it means to be part of GUE Netherlands community, for me it's all about having friends around you, doing fun things in fun places. So go diving and have a lot of fun.
All right, great stuff. Great to see our active communities in China. I've been there a couple times this year, and they're really dedicated, enthusiastic groups with divers all around and growing. And of course, Netherlands, one of our long-time base of operations. JP, Anne-Marie, and the team there are doing a fabulous job really helping grow GUE and develop the sense of community there. I hope many of you will join us next January for the Cave and Wreck Night there in Amsterdam. Always an amazing venue that JP and Anne-Marie and the team put together. And we're excited to take a more active role in that as well. So hope to see everybody there. Okay, so now we're doing pretty well on time. Let's see if we can bust that with my good friend Todd. Is he coming in live or is he coming in? Oh my gosh, he's coming in live.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly on schedule, so I figured that if you came in live, it'd be a great way to mess that up.
No, I'll try not to do that.
Brother, it's good to see you, and
it's good to see
great to have you here. This is Community Day is always an exciting endeavor to connect all our communities around the world. And since you were there at the very, very, very beginning, before there was a community, I know all about that. You probably noticed we have several people phoning in from Turkey. So that, you know, in a sense, I give that project the birthright of GUE's developmental concepts, sitting on the goat-filled mountain in Turkey, imagining it. So I'm going to turn this over to you and let you talk a little bit about some of Project Baseline's activities. Great to have you, and thanks for making the time.
Yeah, of course, man. Cool. Well, Nico, could you just roll to the slide? That'd be great. Well, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Project Baseline, and this material is available on our website. So I'm not really just going to read it out to you. I'm going to tell a little bit a backstory about us while we go through it. But our mission really was carved out by Jarrod and I sitting at a restaurant someplace on a diving project, realizing that we'd been diving for a long time by then, probably close to 30 years, and that, you know, I'm always focused on the environment, and we were talking about how the springs in particular had degraded and changed for the worse so much over the course of our experience with them, and then realized that we didn't have any really way to show that or to prove it, because people were coming to the springs, and of course they were still clear and you could cave dive, and so people love them, but the idea that we needed something to show people how things would change through time is really the birth of Project Baseline. And so our mission really became to encourage divers, not just GUE divers, but divers as a whole. The project has really taken root with GUE, of course. There are some other divers, but mostly with GUE. But encourage divers to engage and get out there and engage with their community, record what they see with the environment, and then share that with other people. That's really what it boils down to. So yeah, could you go on to the next slide? What we do, well, we do a lot of different things. If you look at Project Baseline, we have loads of projects and people doing different things all around the world. But really, we just try to get people to get out there and record what they see. And then most importantly to me is to gain the confidence that they need to develop collaborations and start working with other organizations, other entities that are working on concerted efforts to conserve and protect the underwater world. And so that usually means government agencies or universities or other conservation organizations that have specific agendas, and they need certain things like certain types of data or certain types of activities to be conducted, and then we can of course help them with that. And then if you haven't seen it, please check out our database. We maintain a database of all of the images and the data that, well, not all the data, but a lot of the data that our teams are collecting around the world. And we show that with, or share that with anybody who's interested. Yeah, go on to the next one. Recording change through time, this concept, you know, I'd like to think that we were the first people to really think it up, but of course we weren't. And there have been people working on a concept and a problem, what we call baseline shift, or I call baseline shift. There had actually been books written about it. Of course, I've figured that out and read a couple of them through time, but that's really what we do. And in this case, I'm showing these pictures, the U.S. Geological Survey, starting in the early 1980s, started documenting changes to Florida's coral reefs by picking specific coral heads and then showing them, taking pictures every year and showing how they were degrading or dying over time. So where we stand right now, we're actually, the stats, of course, in making this, I saved the wrong slide, but we're in 53 countries. We've done almost 10,000 dives of 559 sites. We're closing in on 5,000 pictures of the underwater world in our database, over 120,000 temperature measurements, and we've engaged with more than 150 teams or projects, depending on how you look at it, around the world. And we've, at one point or another, some of our teams have engaged in 33 different collaboration efforts with various organizations that are trying to protect the underwater world. Yeah, go to the next. I think probably some of you, and I know just saw JP Bresser on the video screen. So JP was here to help us in Bermuda. I was fantastically lucky to be able to work with somebody to put together these big scientific collaboration projects aboard ships. We worked actually on 3 different vessels. Baseline Explorer was probably the most well recognized or well known, but we worked on another vessel called Pacific Provider and one called the Advantage. We did 17 different missions with 20 organizational collaborators. And you can read the statistics, but what was most exciting to me is that our work contributed to more than 10 specific scientific publications. It contributed to establishing marine protected areas in different locations. And in particular in Bermuda, the data that we collected, the samples and the video that we collected led to the identification of over 100 new species of life that were never documented before. So it's really amazing what you can do when you start to work together. Go on to the next one. So those projects were probably, some of the most exciting projects I've done myself or led myself. But the ones that I think are the most meaningful and I'm actually the most proud of are the collaborative missions that our teams are doing at a local scale, not on big, sexy ships with submarines, but on dive boats, in many cases with the operators contributing the time on the boat because they believe in the mission as well, which is the case here at PB UK. 4 years of working with an organization called the Blue Marine Foundation to use video transects and photogrammetry and sample collection to help designate marine protected areas in the UK and help to bring the fishing industry into a sustainable management. And these projects like these are going on every year at different places in the world. And I believe that like the PB UK, they're typically very welcoming to encourage people to come and join them, all kinds of different skill levels. In this case with PB UK, we were all diving with JJCCR rebreathers, except for one person who you can see on the boat right next to the scientist lecturing us, which is my daughter, Jenny. They welcomed her. She's not GUE certified yet, she will be soon enough. But at 14 years old, she got in and got to use the, help to contribute. She laid the video transect grids for us to take the scientific measurements. So it's just a great experience for people. Every time I've been able to join a project, everybody involved comes out of it really energized and excited and realizing that they're doing something meaningful. Go on to the next slide. So why we're here, it's pretty simple, to try to shed light or bring attention to a place that the vast majority of humans on planet Earth will never get to see and don't really think about very often, and basically become the voice for the underwater world. And then what I like to say is that if divers don't step up and become the voice for these places that we care so much about, then who will be, right? So we're literally the only people that get to see it. So go on to the next slide. Here's where we're working. So all of these dots are locations where we have currently or have had people working. So you can see we're distributed quite literally around the world. We're still looking for opportunities to get projects going in Africa, in South America, but I'm in touch with people that are trying to get something off the ground in those locations. The blue dots are what we call historically active, which means teams that have contributed data to the database through time, but haven't done so in the last 2 years. And the green stars are locations where teams have contributed data in the last 2 years. And what's interesting is that some of these blue dots will turn to green stars, and some of the green stars will turn to blue dots. As you might imagine, these are volunteer efforts, so people's engagement sometimes tends to rise and fall through time. And the other thing that happens is people will be very active but not submit data to us, and then a year later submit like a massive load of data that we have to add to the database. So a blue dot becomes that's been inactive apparently for 5 years, all of a sudden becomes highly active for all 5 of those years. So we'll go to the next one. So our challenge, again, like I said, is to be the voice for the underwater world. And we can do that by simply, I believe very strongly, by simply getting involved. And Project Baseline, in my mind, as I've come to understand what I believe we're doing over time, is that we are pushing people to engage with the world if you just simply start collecting pictures, documenting what you see, that energizes your team and the people around you. And then ultimately that organically can lead into doing more significant things like these collaborative efforts. Go on and move to the next slide. So here, this is a little graphic. I'm a quantitative scientist, so I tend to think in graphs and charts and numbers. But I designed this to try to illustrate this project or this concept of baseline shift that Project Baseline is really trying to stop. So on the left, we have this graph of environmental quality versus time. And this is what I'm talking about. If as like divers before me got to see the environment even more pristine than I did. And then when Jarrod and I came onto the scene in the early 1980s, it was of course inspiring to see the environment and both springs and the reefs and everything else, but it was already slightly degraded from what it had been in the past. And the people that are learning to dive now are seeing an environment that is significantly degraded from what Jarrod and I saw when we first started diving. And every time when people come into these environments for the first time, they tend to take what they see at the beginning as their baseline. So they tend to think that this must be the pristine condition, and they will accept some amount, just like as we did, some amount of environmental degradation before they try to take action. So without creating any change in that condition, future divers, and you can just protract that graph all the way to the floor, will continue to accept lower and lower conditions. Fundamentally, my perspective on Project Baseline is that our goal is to stop that. So divers before me and then me, what did we have in common? None of us really engaged with environmental conservation. None of us really tried to stop this curve. So if we can insert Project Baseline and get divers that are learning to dive now to get engaged, then maybe the future divers that come after us can experience not only an environment that's not degraded from what we see, but maybe an environment that's better than what we have today. So go on to the next slide. So this is really what it boils down to. This a friend of mine, John Moran, took these pictures of springs on the left. He's been taking pictures of springs in Florida for most of his life. In 1995, he shot a picture of Itchitucknee Springs on the left, which is kind of what I remember seeing, when Jarrod and I were diving together in Florida. And then in 2012, he took the picture on the right. So the difference here is eutrophication process that's happened to almost all of Florida springs. And this is really what inspired creating Project Baseline. We can talk about the same thing with corals, again, in Florida. The environment that Jarrod and I saw when we started diving, Florida was considered a coral reef ecology. It's no longer a coral reef ecology. Roughly 95% of the living corals in Florida that we saw are gone. So how can we improve this is, getting out and getting engaged. And I firmly believe that we can make a difference here. Go on to the next. How to get involved? Come and check us out on the website. You can see the steps. Go on to the next one. And go on to the next slide. Basically, you choose to get involved, can start recording your environmental conditions, share them with Project Baseline, engage with your community, and then be open to opportunities to collaborate. So that's really what I have to offer here as a little quick overview of Project Baseline. And I sincerely hope that people out there, whether you get involved with Project Baseline or do it on your own, you get involved, try to make your dives count, and for something that can relate and contribute to protecting the underwater world. So anyway, thanks a lot for this opportunity, JJ.
Thanks very much, my friend. I appreciate you getting up early on the West Coast there, and maybe now you go for a little run or something.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting us an update. Great to see you as well. And take care. Hope you catch up again soon.
Yeah, man.
Take care, my friend. Greetings also to Ansi B from Croatia. Richard, great to have you here as well. We got great people coming in step by step. Thanks, Michael. Good to see you as well. And what we're going to do now is jump straight into Jenn. And she's done a fabulous job as our scholar and now working throughout the range of activities. Hi, Jenn. Always a pleasure to see you.
Hello.
Some brims right through the screen. So we love it. And I'm going to turn it right over to you. You've been doing some great work with the project management portal. So tell us what's going on.
Amazing. So yeah, thank you, Jarrod. So yeah, for those who don't know me, I was the scholar for last year, 2022 to 23. And then in December, I was fortunate to join HQ part-time in terms of helping manage the scholarship program, but also in all things global project development. So I'll try and speak for only a few minutes, but I want to show people what and how they can get involved, but also give communities around the world ease of access to develop their own projects too. So if we bring up the slides, that would be great. Perfect. So launched in March was something called GUE's Project Portal. Now this is a suite of support tools for a diverse set of community-led projects. So designed for both divers and GUE instructors alike to establish their own projects from the very beginning, really, while still guided by excellence in the values that GUE provides, such as exploration and conservation as well. In this portal, we are starting to include GUE taxonomic definitions, variations from that, and also the values of a project. So in this way, we have this balancing act between adherence to GUE standards, but also catering for unique contexts of real-world projects. And at this bottom, you see this dream logo, and this is what we are ultimately wanting to do with these projects. So we want to get divers to dream big, if you like, to help them define their project's objective, to research properties that illuminate that objective, to help record the environment and to analyze in a way which is accessible for the public and easy to understand, and then most of all motivate others, divers, but also individuals that don't dive, to support and protect the underwater environment. So if we go to the next slide, the portal is split into 3 main sections. So we have a portfolio of reports, and so in there you can really see a catalogue of all the projects that we have, which are available and coming online as well. You will also, if you sign up, you will get access to a whole database of registration tools and software tools. And then we have a resource library and basically a 12 step-by-step guide, which you can kind of see on the screen here. So this resource will be basically a plethora of resources, kind of like a library. And this will take you through the 12 steps of how to design projects in a way that we think is suitable for any type of project, be it recreational or technical. So we have everything from permitting help to different management structures, we have logistical considerations, report templates, and also even special discounts for software for GUE members and instructors, which are still actively ongoing. And although this portal has only been out for a few months, we have already begun to see people and projects being developed through this. So it is super exciting. All right, so next slide, please. So although it's all very well and good being able to develop your own projects, and we've seen examples of projects which are easy to get involved via Project Baseline. But as Dorota was talking about, there are more complex projects. And so these are some of the photos of me from this summer, because as a newly qualified Cave 1 diver and a not qualified at all tech diver, I ended up being involved in multiple projects, some of which were far beyond my level, but I was still able to get involved in ways that were suitable for me, but also help the team as well. So as Dorota was saying, here is me being involved in some cave photogrammetry projects, but just at the entrance to the cave, unlike everyone else that were going a bit deeper. I was also helping carry a lot of gear for different individuals. And then also the image in the very middle was when I was helping out in Sicily on a big tech diving project. And I was just there as surface support and also taking media on the surface. And this image actually now is in the museum itself, where the archaeologists are working to, try and preserve some of the finds that the team have brought up. So lots of different ways that you can help out. And it really just takes, a phone call or an email to somebody to help you start that process of getting involved. So for all those who think that they can't get involved with projects, you have something to offer. So yeah, get involved. And this then brings me to the final slide. So I hope you can see that by having both a structured place by this portal where individuals can go to find projects, we are both encouraging the younger generations to get involved in more goal-oriented diving, both as either a participant or a manager as well. And indeed, so the last iteration of the Quest article, it summarizes these training resources and initiatives that we have got going for project divers. So in the article, it will go into the portal and other curriculum developments that are being, again, reviewed or in active development, such as our Project Diver program. So currently we're developing core module resources, which have not been online yet, for those that seek a more formalized education pathway from both foundational to exploration grade project training. So yeah, again, it just shows that you can join recreational projects, technical projects, and everything in between, while both conserving the environment and having fun with friends as well. And so by building up communities of young divers, aspiring explorers and scientists, we can have this pool of ready-made participants, which is why, again, the NextGen Legacy Project is so important to support deserving individuals aiming to empower people to join projects. And so, yeah, that is what I have to say for now, but also stay tuned for the NextGen Scholar announcement coming very soon as well. And I probably waffled for way too long, but any questions, just drop me an email.
No, your enthusiasm has always been contagious, so it's great work, Jen. I'm really happy to see you pulling together all those resources, and I don't think until people actually get in there and look around a bit, they have any idea how much is really there. It's an impressive set of resources and growing steadily. So I encourage all of you to get in there and dig around a bit. And then if you have any interest in developing your project, please reach out to Jenn. She's a fantastic support network, and we'll try to bring all the resources available to assist where we can. Thanks so much, Jenn. Great to see you. Take care. All right, and greetings to several of you for popping in. Great to see people coming in from Thailand. Hi, Melissa, as well. And we've got people moving in from around the world again. Love to see you here, Thailand as well. So I'm going to jump straight to Michael. It's great to have Michael joining us today to talk a little bit about the history of our communities, of dive communities in general. And good morning, Michael. How are you doing?
Good morning. How you doing, Chair? This is great.
Nice and early over there. And
yeah, right.
Appreciate you joining us. History of dive community sounds like a long topic, but you're going to do it in under 5 minutes.
I'm going to make it very short. Yeah, I wanted to, a few words about community and provide historical context. And I'm not going to talk long, but
over to you.
If we go for it. Yeah. So if we look back to the inception of tech diving, maybe in the mid to late 1980s, informal communities began coming together around exploration projects. We were teaching ourselves how to do mixed gas diving safely and efficiently, and it took a team of committed people, and then we needed a means to bring in new people who could mentor and train up. So I think of Woodville Karst Plains project, WKPP, as a great example of this, of building community. They were, of course, the predecessors of GUE. Bill Stone and his group at Wakulla, another community formed around the Wakulla Springs Project, 87. And I was down in Key West with a fellow named Captain Billy Deans and Key West diver, and again, who brought in a lot of the wreck diving community to learn mixed gas diving. So there was a whole sort of informal community forming. So in early GUE, I think it was brilliant that Jarrod and Todd and some of the early GUE leadership recognized the importance of community as well as projects and really integrated these concepts into the very fabric of GUE and helped scale it on a global scale. Implement it on a global scale. And I think it's really fair to say that community is part of GUE's DNA, if you will. And this approach has really allowed us to create operational standards similar to other professional and occupational diving communities, which have been such a powerful tool for improving safety and performance and just getting the job done, right? And it also provided an important platform for teaching and mentoring, as we know, through all our communities. And it really supported Jarrod and Todd's original vision, of the citizen divers. Hey, we're here in Turkey, we're here wherever we are, we can bring together an international team of divers and everyone's on the same page and we can carry out the operation safely, so that's really important. So as a result, I think today GUE occupies really a unique position in the dive industry. We are not just another training agency, and though we're small relative to some organizations, we're mighty in many ways. And community is really part of our secret sauce, and this day celebrates that. So I think this notion of community really resonates in the wider tech world too, and I think that's one of the reasons GUE has attracted so many young people. And I also find it interesting to see our friends like at Patty, through the Patty Club, working so hard to try to build a community, when for us it's part of our nature. It's organic. So I think that's really amazing. Which brings us to in-depth. So Jarrod and I, discussed the importance of community back in 2018 when we were creating In-Depth, and really modeled it after my old magazine, Aquacore Journal, which helped usher in the technical diving revolution. And I think of In-Depth really as Aquacore 2.0 in some ways. And the idea was to create a sense of community in the wider global tech world and really provide a marketplace of good ideas and content, and that's what we're about. And I would argue that we are succeeding in that, and in fact becoming the global community publication platform, knowledge base, whatever you want to call it, for the global community. And I'm really excited about that. And even though we're not focused on GUE content per se, people recognize that In-Depth is being provided to them, being offered by GUE. So I think that gives us some kudos. So And like in GUE, we believe, of course, in pursuit of excellence. So on the in-depth team, we've added one more little slogan, and that's world domination. So that's our goal overall. So we're working at it. Thank you, everybody. Have a great community day.
Thanks very much, Michael. I appreciate your dedication to the sport over these decades and your advocating for it and your great work at In-Depth. Great to have you here today. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
Now we're going to bring in Sergio, good friend, longtime supporter, board member within GUE, and coming to you from one of my more favorite favorite project destinations. I'll get that one out. Brazil is an amazing country. I started first diving there in the 1990s and been lucky enough to return recently with Sergio and Krill and some of the team. Do we have Sergio to come on in when possible? Sergio!
Hello.
Yeah, pleasure to see you, my friend. Great to have you here.
Hey, good to see you.
I'm going to turn it right over to you because I think Brazil is one of the more promising areas in the world among many, and we've got some great caves there and some great activities. Why don't you tell our community a little bit about them?
Try to cover that. I'll cover a little bit of what we're doing in Brazil. So Nico, if you could share the slides. When we talk about Brazil, Nico, could you share the slide, please? Oh, thank you. So when I talk about Brazil, the first thing that diving in Brazil, the first thing that comes in my mind is so many places, so little time, because we have so many different diving sites. It's spread all over the country. Here, a nice picture that I love. It's us. You can see our van here crossing a river in the Amazon, going to a diving site that we've been working on for quite a while. So not a kind of a traditional diving trip, but it's still a good example what we've been doing there. In the next slide, we can see a little bit what we have. So it's a huge country, countless opportunities. We have beautiful caves. Here we have on the left, Mimoso Cave, very famous cave because of these very rare formations. We have amazing ocean diving. Here, a nice picture of Recife, probably one of my favorite diving sites. We have a nice picture of another cave that we've been exploring for quite a while too. And on the far right, we have our friend Ricardo Constantino hanging 75 meters above the ground on his way to the bottom of the sinkhole. So I think we have a little bit of everything in Brazil. The next slide, we can see how many opportunities we have. So as Jarrod said, we have so much going on and so much more to explore. We have, according to official records, more or less 7,000 known caves in Brazil out of an estimated number of 150,000 caves. So that gives us an idea of how much there is still out there to be explored. Not all of them are easy to access. Most of them are very far away from major cities. So it takes some time to get there, but it's still there's a lot to be explored. In the next slide, we have some beautiful pictures taken by Kirill of recent projects. Kirill has been there quite a few times over the past few years. And here's some beautiful pictures taken in different locations. One of my favorites is this picture in the middle where we have the GUE arrow pointing inside a cave and we have Jarrod in the background, so very nice picture. We have also a very nice picture of a megafauna that I'll show later in the presentation. So we have currently probably 10 different targets that we are exploring. And every time we go to a new location, we find some more new leads to explore. So in the last project in July, we were targeting one specific cave. And during that trip, we found 3 other caves that will deserve some exploration or some effort in the future. So the things keep growing exponentially. There is a lot to do. And that, again, that's why I said so little time. Next slide, please, Nico. Sadly, as I said before, it's a big country. Distances are huge. Sometimes just the round trip to the cave and back takes a week. Not to mention the time that we spend at the cave. Logistics are tough, so we have to take everything with us. We have here a picture of our portable filling station working after hours. We have another picture of our base camp in one of the projects a couple of years ago. We have a picture on the top right of a rebreather being lowered to the cave. So it takes a lot of effort to get there, but it still it pays off most of the time. In the next slide, we'll see that since we are going to those places and we're exploring these different locations, we try to work very closely with the community, with the scientific community. So we try to align our exploration with scientific research. And here are some very good examples of what we've been producing. In the left is this skull that was in the previous picture. This skull, it's a megafauna skull. It dated 100,000 years. It is only the second of this species found in Brazil, so it's kind of a rare animal to be found. In the middle, we have the 3D model of a cave that it is a very interesting archaeological site. We've been exploring this place for 5 years already. We have publications about this place, and there's still a lot to be explored there. And on the far right, we have some dye tracing that we did in a cave during the project to try to understand the water dynamics. So a lot going on. Also, since we are going to this, another way another tool that we are using to boost our exploration, Nico, next slide, please, is to boost our exploration through and education, of course, through active exchange. So we've been bringing our colleagues from other GUE communities to Brazil to help with exploration for quite a while. So here in the top right, we can see our friends from Mexico, Chris, Sam, and Julian, John Kendall below, Ricardo Constantino. For some reason, Jarrod, your picture is not appearing here, but you're right in the middle. So you can ask Nick what happened, but I'm sure that there is a picture of you here. And on the far right, you can see how well we treat our guests. So we even have someone just to hold an umbrella and provide Guy Shockey some shadow while he was diving with us there. So we want to make sure that people feel good about going to Brazil. And I guess the message here is there's a lot to do there, Jarrod, and we are expecting you back there to Brazil. And the final message is to our communities, go there. There's a lot to be explored. We are expecting you.
And I'm very excited to come back. So I think the caves there are fantastic. I mean, you don't have many places where you can be 100 meters on the ceiling and it's still going quite deep below, massive rooms. I feel quite literally one of those exploration projects dropping into the tunnel. I felt like I was exiting the space station, you know, because you can't see anything anywhere. I get disoriented for a second. So some fantastic cave there, great archaeology. The best dive truck and portable dive station I think I've ever seen in the world, Sergio. So you did a great job there. Thanks for all of
we spent a few years working on that. Nice talking to you.
Thanks for all your effort and thanks for joining. And we look forward to coming back very soon to
my pleasure.
Exploration. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. So some great stuff there. I hope some of you will find time to join. It's really a lot of great activity going on, documentation and active exploration. We're going to pop in a couple of videos from our teams around the world. We've got Seattle, Singapore, and Thailand coming up. So Nico, I think you can cue those, and then I get to talk to you about Indonesia.
So GUE is about teamwork and friendship, the bond.
I would say family.
Family.
An extended family.
Yeah, I love my dive community family. Yeah, a lot of fun. Also, watch everybody grow up, and we get to help them.
We come from all kinds of different places and backgrounds, but we all have this in common. So it's pretty awesome when we see each other. We're automatically friends.
So being a part of GUE is definitely a family.
What I love about this community is we all have each other's back, both in the water and out of the water.
I like being in this community because I feel encouraged to keep pushing myself into new challenges while enjoying it.
Connection.
Friendship.
Seattle.
Very global, and it's easy to connect with communities around the world. Thank you.
Being a GUE community member is teamwork.
I also agree GUE is so far I know the best organization in Tech Valley, so that's why.
I'm a GUE member because it's known for its high standards in training and diving practices to ensure that I become proficient and a safe diver.
Being part of this community means that I get to connect with individuals that share the same passion as me.
To me, the one word that describes being a GUE community member is unity.
One word to describe being a GUE community for me is teamwork.
One word to describe being GUE community member is excellent.
For me, I think it's commitment.
All right, greetings. Some inspiring videos from around the world. It's really, I think, great to see some of the activity and the communities growing in various places far-flung around the world. I hope it also encourages many of you to start, develop, and continue expanding your own communities. Really great to see. We don't have a whole lot of questions yet, so if you have anything on your mind, I'd love to remind you to drop some questions onto the comments or let us know so we can address those as we come to the end. Dorota and I will be happy to take any questions that you have, and looking forward to that. So Nico, I think you can cue Indonesia. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about one of the places that we've been developing also, in addition to Brazil and Mexico and all over the world. We're doing some activity in the Indonesia area. We've had teams operating there now for several years, doing a couple scouting projects and developing that region and building up the resources there. And this area is not the easiest to get to, but it is a fascinating part of the world. Tremendous hospitality, not incredibly well developed. So, you know, hotels are few and far between, and you should be looking more for the rustic kind of trip as you get out into some of the areas. The most recent, actually, though, is starting to get better in terms of having a little bit more support, but many times you are out in almost in the literal nowhere. The area is really, the Sulawesi Island area is resultant from the collision of 3 tectonic plates just a few years ago, many years ago, and has a pretty interesting and rich history. Next, Nico. The area has a lot of caves and is pretty famous for having the oldest cave paintings, or at least among them. I think they vie back and forth, but they're more than 50,000 years old. So there appears to be some very long history in the region. And this is not normally what you'll see in the wet caves, of course, but we do have some areas where you have large dry caves as well as an extensive series of caves throughout the region. Next, Nico. In terms of the travel, as I mentioned, it is a bit challenging to get to. Your most natural common starting or origin point would be from Singapore, and then multiple flights and ferry from there into the Sulawesi area, into Batam specifically. And however you get to Singapore will vary, of course, from your starting point, but that's kind of the easiest point to move from for most people. And the area really has a lot of caves. We're just starting to scratch the surface, and every trip we go, we find more and unique things going on. Many of the caves have been smaller, meaning that they don't have extensive penetration, although we have recently discovered some that are hopeful for longer term exploration. We have both shallow and deep caves in the area. Some of them more in the sort of between 10 and about 80-meter range seems to be the average. Getting helium there is a bit challenging. Nico, next. But you can ship it, as we did on our last project. We don't have quite the elaborate fill station that Sergio has created for Brazil, but we do have access to portable compressor systems sitting in the truck, a long intake tube that makes it easy to fill between dives. It's really a beautiful area, though, so even just from a sightseeing perspective, you can see the backdrop here. It's really remarkable, and the people are so friendly and curious and interested and engaged. We also have great support by some of the local divers, rock and roll divers, provides a nice support infrastructure. Nico, next, please. And there's some pretty fascinating areas throughout. You can see some of the entranceways here. A few of the sites are a bit difficult from a logistics perspective. Sometimes gear has to be lowered to the water. Sometimes it's a little bit of a treacherous entranceway. Often it's a little bit further out into the jungle, so there are some longer distances to travel. And pretty much all the time, regardless of where you base yourself, you're going to have longer drives to get to some of the various caves. But from my perspective, well worth the effort. You can dive on back mount. Quite a few of the caves do allow for that. They have tended to think otherwise, but we have done trips where everybody was on back mount. It is a little bit easier on side mount, both in terms of logistics and because some of the entrances are just not possible to maneuver through inside mount. But there are big caves, some very big caves, and plenty of caves that also allow back mount entrances. Nico? You see some pretty fascinating features throughout the area. So there is a kind of Mexico-like stalactite, stalagmite features and formations throughout the area. Some very delicate kinds of stalactites that form throughout. And they also have a pretty heavy amount of ancient coral. So fossilized coral is renowned throughout the region. Nico, is there one more? And here we see one of the really remarkable features that you don't see in many places. This is a large fossilized clam shell, and you can see it sitting on the left picture, very large. Some of these can be almost a meter in size, and generally probably about a half a meter. And you see that many of them are fully embedded into the walls, and some of them have been eroded around and so are much more prominent standing up. Really throughout, you see a significant amount of fossilized coral formation everywhere you go. And probably the one sort of challenging component is that things are not exceptionally well consolidated. So it's sort of a loose matrix of fossilized coral. And so if you're on open circuit, those bubbles can start to create some percolation, sometimes quite significant percolation. So while rebreather is not mandatory, in fact, most of the diving is done on open circuit, I would say that rebreathers do work a little bit better as a result. So we have some hopeful trips coming up. We've got a couple more adventures this year and hoping over the next couple of years to get into some of the bigger and more expansive caves. I think it's a very promising region, and I think we're going to see continued exploration projects popping up all over the world. If you look at kind of 30 degrees north and south of the equator, you have a pretty significant amount of limestone karst formation in the region. So very promising area for future cave development, and we're pretty excited to see a lot more of that in the future. I will do a more elaborate version of this discussion at the diving talks coming up in Portugal. So I hope those of you who are in the area will join, and I'll have an opportunity to expand and talk a little bit more about that. Okay, next it'd be great to bring in a recorded discussion of Harry. If you have any questions about Indonesia or questions in general, please queue them up. We'll be happy to entertain all of those at the end, where we'll do a Q&A section. now we have a video of Harry, our NextGen Scholar, a little update from his activities. So Nico, you want to bring that in?
Hey everyone, it's Harry here, the GUE NextGen Scholar for 2023 and 2024. Sorry I can't be with you live today. At this current moment, I am living in a remote and undisclosed location, filming for BBC Blue Planet 3. For those of you who don't know, this past year I've been actively working on the series as a researcher on the polar and high seas episodes. Throughout this full-time position, I've been fitting in as many GUE courses as I can, taking advantage of some of the fantastic training and working with some of the incredibly skilled instructors. I want to give you a quick update on what I've been up to this year and what's coming up in the next couple months. I kicked off my scholarship in January by undertaking my GUE Fundamentals course in the UK with the lovely Rich Walker. I was introduced to diving in doubles for the first time, and together we worked on those famous back kicks. Next, I did the scientific diver course in the Netherlands with Eric Vers. Diving in a different country was a new experience for me, and combining it with my scientific background, it really prepared me for project diving in the future. Since then, I've managed to use these skills in a number of dives around the UK and beyond, including diving with Martin and Vanessa, who run a project baseline site in Scotland. I've done so much this past year, and much more than I can fit into this video. So if you want to find out more, feel free to check out the articles that I've written for Quest and In-Depth diving magazines. When I return from filming in November, I'm looking forward to finishing my scholarship year in Mexico, undertaking my Recreational 3 course with Annika Persson. Though my scholarship year is coming to an end in November, this is not the end of my time with GUE. I really am looking forward to diving with many more of you in the future. Thank you for a fantastic year. It's been great to become a part of such a welcoming and active diving community. All the best and see you soon.
Congratulations to the next GUE Scholar. Looking forward to meeting you. I loved meeting everyone in the community, and it's been awesome to then see them over the last couple of years in different projects. So I hope you have an awesome year. You've got a very exciting year ahead of you with an awesome community to support. So congratulations again, and see you soon.
Great to hear from Harry and Annika. Harry is, as he mentioned, filming with BBC Blue Planet, so that's exciting. We look forward to seeing some of those updates, and you're familiar with Jenn. So there are some big shoes to fill, and so speaking of filling those shoes, I think it's time that we meet our NextGen Scholar. Nico, if you can bring Thonopol on, I think that would be great. Thonopol, a pleasure to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you, everyone.
Great to have you here. Congratulations to you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last week we confirmed you officially, and so now it's a pleasure to bring you on. And I'd like you to kind of introduce yourself to the community and just say a few words about your experience and what you're looking forward to doing here with GUE.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's been a very shocking experience since last Friday when we had a call. I'm still excited by it. So thank you so much, Jarrod, and also Jenn, for believing in my skills, experience, or what I'm trying to achieve with the scholarship. So my name is Thonopol. You guys can also meet Tan. I was born and raised in Thailand, and I am currently studied and working in the US right now. I would describe myself as an inventor, engineer, and also roboticist. So I study robotics engineering, and I wish to use that skill set as an engineer to contribute to the GUE's mission, which is in exploration, education, and conservation by combining technologies into the world of diving, and also GUE's mission as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Thonopol. I think it's amazing, and I know that a lot of our community are very excited to meet you, and I hope you get a chance to integrate with some of them and get some great training done. This has been a personal kind of mission of mine to see this scholarship realized, and I can't thank all the people that have made it a reality enough. I'm really excited, and we'd love to expand it. But you can see the great diversity of talent that our scholars have, and we're looking forward to spending a year developing your skills so you can go out and do great things in the world. You're already off to a great start. So welcome formally to our community.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to all the the support from GUE during the scholarship year, and also build a very good pathway for me for the future to contribute even more. Excited to meet all the cool people. I'm very excited. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Thanapol. You take care, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll see you.
Any of you have any exciting opportunities for Thanapol, please be sure to reach out to us and let us know. And if you get the opportunity to see him in your community, please say hi and welcome him officially. It's exciting to see these energetic and capable young people going out and really looking to make a difference in the world. So thanks, Thanapol, and great to have you. So now some community videos we have. We have a few videos that we can queue up, and let's hear from some of our other community activities around the world. Nico?
Panama City Underwater Explorers is dedicated to the documentation and conservation of all things aquatic
in our local region of Northwest Florida.
Three divers ascending, the symbol of PCUE.
The three divers in formation signify a unified team and resemble the Trinity knot.
An image rich in symbolism across several cultures through past and contemporary human history.
It can mean whatever you want it to mean.
And you are welcome to be part of PCUE.
The one word that defines MUI and GUE for me is community.
I joined MUI due to peer pressure and coercion. I've remained a part of MUI because of the friendships that I've formed within it.
The best word to describe them as a community is respect. I'm very enamored and pleased to see how respectful they all are of each other and how close that community is, and I hope that they continue to grow.
The word that best describes MUI is supportive.
Community. That's the one word that describes Midwest Underwater Explorers.
We are 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 Midwest Underwater Explorers.
Safety first.
High quality training.
Dedication and community.
Conservation.
Best by the ever.
Exploration.
Challenge limits.
Team diving. Adventure.
Dive with purpose.
Creational awareness.
Mastery and discipline.
Precision.
I hope you guys enjoy those as much as I do. It's really neat. I love the style, and I love to see people from around the world embracing similar kind of ideals and interests and passion for the sport. So exciting time. I appreciate everybody hanging in there as long as you have. I know that we ran a little bit over, but we appreciate your motivation and dedication to sticking with us. And we're almost done. We're about to take some questions at the end. We do have a little bit of a farewell message before we do that, and then we can take questions. Any of you that would like to stick around or have some comments or questions, please let us know. We do have a couple queued up, but we're happy to take more if you pop them in. And then Nico, we got a little message from Richie, I think.
Afraid not, mate. No.
No. Okay. Didn't get taken off the agenda. I like it. Well, good. We have to have a little bit of a snafu in order to make things more interesting. So we're happy that we managed to get through this so smoothly. And before I do take questions, I think we can bring Dorota in whenever convenient, Nico. But I do want to just take a moment to thank all of you, of course. You've been amazing, sticking around and joining us, and all of the people who contributed from communities around the world, curating videos or coming on personally. And of course, to the amazing team, Amanda, Jenn, Davina, Goza, Nico, who organized the broadcast that you see now. The team put in a ton of effort. Dorota, did I miss anybody? I mean, it was a great team and an all-around team effort.
No, I think you didn't.
Okay, at least the people who put in the lion's share, they organized everything in a great way, reaching out to everyone. And it's often hard to organize these things, but I think it ran pretty smoothly. What do you think, Dorota?
Yeah, I think it went really very well, and I really enjoyed the presentation from Todd, because I think it is the way that we should go and then engage people and show them the difference, because without having, a data that you can present, people will not believe. And I really, really look forward to some Brazilian expeditions, because now it sounds really interesting.
You should. It's an amazing place. And I mean, the country is fascinating as well. There's nothing, I really enjoyed the opportunity. There are different ways to do it, but Sergio and I drove, and Kirill drove from Sao Paulo, and that was, I think, 28 hours of driving, but it was really cool to get through the country and just see vast expanses of wilderness and farming and agriculture. It's so much nature there. It's a really amazing country.
And the other thing is, I think that Tan, I need to contact him directly. Our new NextGen Scholar, have some ideas for him.
Tan, you're in trouble now. We're going to keep you busy. Okay, well, we can move to some questions. There aren't a whole lot of things that people have asked, but I know one of them that was asked of me is about the future, about new technologies, materials, and science. I think we'll continue to do everything we can, Juan, to innovate and develop and refine. We are always looking at the new technologies. We particularly have been focused around the new technologies as it relates to documentation. So working from the very early 3D photo mosaics on into photogrammetry for full three-dimensional visualization and manipulation. And now that's moving into video and integrated mapping and using sonar mapping. Thanks to our friends at SUEX, we've been able to really continue to expand some of the capacities that come to the teams. And a variety of our groups around the world are creating amazingly high resolution, realistic, and useful documentation output. I know Dorota's involved in some of that in Sardinia, so she may want to say some things there. And before I turn that to her, I'll say we're also looking at all the newest rebreather technologies, evolving both the equipment and the training techniques available to our groups, and trying to continue to expand their capacities. This is what our recent level 3 training curriculum is about, to get people more comfortable moving down into deeper depths, and also our project driver curriculum, which is designed to continue to expand and develop people in those arenas. Dorota, anything you want to say about that?
Yes, what I would like to add about where we will be heading is using the technologies that are appearing, and then using the younger generation that is coming to connect with science, so that we can have actually meaningful impact. And I can see it here because we are here involved in decent scientific work related to sustainability of fresh drinking water resources, which is one of the things, for instance, that it's I would not say a hot topic, but it's something that we will be considering in the future. So for me, where we will be going is continuing, I would say. And what is really very unique for GUE from my perspective is that we evolve. So it's not that we are doing the same things at the same time, that we are trying to move on with new tools that we have, with new approaches, with new areas, with new people, so that we will grow equally for the next, let's say, 25 years. It's a long term.
The next 25, I'm ready. Sign me up. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing this at that time in the future as well. We look forward to the broader and continued integrations with Project Baseline and with all our communities around the world. I think we've got some great things coming. So thanks for that question, Juan. I think you'll see some exciting new developments out of GUE. Each year, we're developing new programs, curriculum, and equipment techniques, equipment facilitation that will allow us to continue to refine our capacity. And then from the database of community side, I know this is something that's kind of been an ongoing question from Michael. Jenn is working on a lot of these kinds of tools and integrations, and we've discussed a number of ways. Jarrod, is there anything you want to say about that?
I mean, we do have a list of communities, but very often the type of communities are different because they are sometimes communities that are spontaneously growing where there are few GUE divers that are being trained. There are communities that are very strongly related to instructors because then the students, they kind of feel associated with them and, you know, they do things together. We have been planning as well to develop a map with communities, but I think it will be a little bit overwhelming. So potentially it will be a search-based map, but for that we need to have input from all of the communities that are out there. We have collected already some, but and one of the people who was really advocate for that is Nevchan, who is somewhere here, I saw him. So we will continue growing this database of communities. So, and it will be not only related to communities per se, but as well having options for finding teammates or finding dive buddies to dive in variety of different places. I know that Gemma as well is working on that. And to build this international, global, I think Mike was mentioning world domination type of community that we will be able to connect. And I can tell one thing from the experience that I have had here this year. We had so many people coming from so many different places. And one of the things that they say is that warm welcome that you have because you have a very similar mindset. So I would like that, I hope that we'll continue in that path because this is, like Mike was saying as well, makes us really unique.
Indeed, agreed. And that's an exciting part of it. It's almost like diving with family because really we are one big, large, extended family. So thanks very much to Juan and Michael for your questions, and thanks to all of you especially. So you joining us is great. Yes, Nico.
Just before we leave, considering we are all one big family, can we all wish Dorota a happy birthday for tomorrow?
Ha, good move. Okay. So everyone, happy birthday to Dorota. Happy birthday to you.
Don't sing it at least.
Happy birthday, dear Dorota. Happy birthday to you and many more. You guys all like my voice? I'm going to record. I'm going on tour very soon.
And it will stay on internet forever. You know that, yes?
Yeah, probably. Well, happy birthday to Dorota and take care to all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining. We really loved having you here and have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care and thanks again.
Thank you, everyone.